Is the Amityville horror based on true events? Over the years, skeptics and paranormal investigators have debated the legitimacy of the Lutz's claims. Some argue that the story was exaggerated or fabricated entirely, while others believe that the Lutz family truly experienced something beyond our understanding. Joe Nickell is a renowned American skeptic, paranormal investigator, and author who has extensively researched and debunked various claims of paranormal activity. Nickell is a senior research fellow at the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry, where he applies scientific methods and investigative techniques to examine reports of supernatural phenomena. Joe has been highly critical of the paranormal claims related to the Amityville horror case. His investigation into the supposed hauntings at 112 Ocean Avenue focused on uncovering inconsistencies, contradictions, and possible motives behind the Lutz family's sensational story. Joe argued that many elements of the Lutz family's account of paranormal experiences were exaggerated, fabricated, or inspired by other horror stories and folklore. He pointed out that the Lutz family lived in the house for only 28 days, and that their claims were not independently corroborated by other witnesses, including subsequent owners of the house who reported no unusual activity. Joe highlighted the Lutz family's financial troubles at the time, suggesting that their story could have been motivated by the potential for profit. This theory was bolstered by the fact that they collaborated with author Jay Anson to write The Amityville Horror, a book that became a bestseller and spawned a successful film franchise. Joe identified numerous inconsistencies in the Lutz family's narrative. For example, the family claimed to have experienced extreme cold spots in the house, despite the home having a functioning heating system that would make such phenomena unlikely. He also pointed out discrepancies in the descriptions of events.
We also had hordes of flies that would appear within 2 rooms, and no matter how many times we would kill them, they would reappear.
Right, now flies can be a real problem in this part of the country in the summer,
Sure.
in any house, you know.
But if you have 2 or 3 or 4 within one room, that could be commonplace. But when you're talking over 100,
Well, this was the winter.
yes,
And you're talking about how many?
over 100
Over
flies
100
at
flies.
one time, and then you'd go around and kill them. They'd be lying on the floor. You'd come back an hour later, and they would be there more.
Whoa, that is a fucking lie.
George Lutz claimed to have seen a pig-like creature with glowing red eyes, while other accounts varied or contradicted this claim. Nickell noted that many of the incidents described in the book were not reported by the Lutz family until after they had left the house and entered into a book deal. Joe has offered natural explanations for many of the reported phenomena. For example, he suggested that the green slime reportedly oozing from the walls could have been due to common mold or algae, while the mysterious noises could have been caused by mundane sources like wind, creaking floorboards, or small animals. He also proposed that psychological factors such as stress, suggestibility, or sleep deprivation could have contributed to the family's perception of supernatural events. The influence of popular culture and horror stories might have further shaped their narrative. Joe has openly criticized the media and the book's author, Jay Anson, for sensationalizing the story to maximize its commercial appeal. He argued that the book contained numerous embellishments and fictional elements designed to create a compelling horror narrative rather than to present a factual account of events. Joe Nickell concluded that the Amityville horror story was a hoax, or, at the very least, a grossly exaggerated account of ordinary events. He suggested that the Lutz family had financial motives to fabricate or embellish their experiences, and that many aspects of their story were influenced by popular culture and previous horror tales. In his view, the Amityville horror case is a classic example of how stories can be shaped and distorted by a combination of psychological, social, and economic factors. The Lutzes stood by their story until the day they died, insisting that the horrors they experienced in the house were real. Meanwhile, some of the subsequent owners of the home have reported nothing out of the ordinary, leading many to question the truth behind the Amityville legend. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, the Amityville horror has left an indelible mark on pop culture and the American psyche. It remains one of the most famous hauntings in modern history, inspiring fear, fascination, and disbelief. And as night falls over the small town of Amityville, one question still lingers. What really happened within the walls of 112 Ocean Avenue? Perhaps we'll never know for sure, but one thing is certain. Something dark left its mark there, and that darkness may never truly leave. Whatever you choose to believe, beware the house on Ocean Avenue. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the unknown.